Attenborough, an absolute legend in the acting world, and I was lucky enough to meet him on a number of occasions, and he shared this particular story with me about the late and wonderful Princess Diana. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. I hope you're keeping well. This particular story is a bit more light-hearted, I thought I'd share with you today. I do like sharing these showbiz stories because I've been, as I say, lucky enough to meet so many legends really in this wonderful career. It has been a wonderful career because you don't realise when you sit down opposite these people that of course they will share so much, you know. I don't know what it is, but they seemingly want to talk and open up, and I've been so lucky to find out so many things that you wouldn't necessarily know on a very short interview celebrity clip. Now, Richard Attenborough at this particular point in this picture was in the latter stages of his career, as one can imagine. He was appearing as the director for his latest film at the time, and he was so gracious about all the other cast members. In fact, he couldn't rave about them enough, really bypassing his own talent. Now, I've met, of course, his brother as well, Sir David Attenborough, he of the Green Planet fame, and they're both totally different people when you think about it, but both have unique talents. What I liked about Richard Attenborough was he was a film star first and foremost, and for me would be ever known as that wonderful character in Brighton Rock, you know, the bad guy, and he loved making that movie. He told me that making it in Brighton during that particular period was really tricky because of course they had big cameras then, and they had to convince people not to look into the cameras as they were running through the real life streets of Brighton and on the West Pier in Brighton where they were filming also. But of course it was in the latter stages of his career where not only did he become a wonderful director, starting out way back in 1969 with his directorial debut Oh What a Lovely War, right through to the infamous Gandhi. He loved all the jokes about Gandhi, by the way, as well, which starred another actor that I'd met, Sir Ben Kingsley, but more about him later. But working with Princess Diana, he told me this. He said that she was very, very camera shy initially, never wanted to watch back the appearances of what they were testing when they were filming in Kensington Palace to learn how to speak a little bit more assuredly in public. But he taught her quite a few tricks. And one of the tricks he told me was that, you know, he basically said, you've really got to mean the words to her. And she really understood that the way forward was to write her own speeches, her own scripts, rather than other people presenting them for her. Once she'd mastered this art, which of course he assisted her with, she felt a lot better. But what she didn't like, and she was more critical each time, he said wasn't really about the speech as such, or the intonation, or how the speech went over, but more about her hair, her makeup, the black eyeliner, the right lipstick. And he said, look, you've got to push all that aside. If the topic's interesting enough, they will forgive you for that. And he said, look, don't look at your fashion, don't look at your hair and your makeup. All of that will date in time, but it will be the message that you're putting on film in that moment, in that space in time, that will be remembered. What wise words to give someone. And he did say that Diana was incredibly shy, just really had to push through trying to do these speeches. And it makes me think about how differently it is in the world for Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge today. She's shy also, but has pushed through with the help of some media advice. Of course, we can't say who that is, but I'm sure you can work some of it out yourself. I think what's interesting to note also with Richard Attenborough was he said, look, all actors are predominantly shy, but if you give them the right words and the right setting, they can perform. And I truly believe that Richard did help Diana come to this point in her life where she felt really assured. Sometimes apparently she would ring him up after main events and say, did you manage to see it? Or, you know, have you seen it on the news? And he said she was kind of like bashful, as if, you know, only if you have the time. He said he loved the fact that he was able to assist her. And he also received a note of grateful thanks from His Royal Highness Prince Charles and Our Gracious Majesty the Queen for the time and effort that he did and put into assisting Diana, making sure that she was right for public life. What a nice man and what a nice gesture. I'll leave you with this actually at the end. It was so funny because this particular picture we were filming in a hotel in Soho, and they were supposed to deliver some tea to the room so we could, you know, have a cup of tea during the chat. Anyway, the tea never turned up, right? You know what it's like in hotels. So we decided to make it ourselves with the in-house tea coffee making facilities. But sadly for Richard, we couldn't get the milk out those jiggers, you know, the plastic things to work. So guess what? We faked it. And on camera, when you see us both sipping tea, he said, remember, you don't slurp meal or you don't drain it. He said, just remember, tiny sips, because we may have to do a few takes. How wonderful it was to be directed by the one and only Richard Attenborough in a hotel room in Soho. He truly was one of a kind. And as ever, I hope you don't mind me sharing these wonderful memories with some of the amazing people that I've been able to meet throughout this wonderful showbiz career. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.